It's a data miner kata. Hello and welcome to another episode of Bringing the Thunder, the best show on the internet, if I say so myself, because if you do all of them, you will likely be able to afford a nice shirt like this. Which, Seba, I noticed you don't have one yet.
No, I'm poor.
You're poor. It's because you're making the katas and not doing them.
I can't complete them. I can't earn any points.
So, as you can see, I have with me an old familiar. If you've watched the previous katas, I have Sebastian with us again, or Seba. Now, what have you got for the kata today? What will you be able to show me and our audience? Dazzle us, impress us.
So last time we created the low-code app.
Indeed.
One page, some demo content, but that was it.
Yes.
We showed you some security and all of that, but now we will get some content in that app.
All right.
And try to create a nice architecture of our app, add some pages, add some panels, add a header bar, some buttons, and all of that good jazz.
So we're building on the previous, I think it was a clock, because I remember I wanted a tower as an icon.
Yes, that's right.
Best part was, no, not the best. It was nice. All of it was nice. But so we're continuing on that. So that was, I think, kata number
3, I think.
3.
Yes.
So if you haven't done that one yet, I would say probably do that one. But can they?
Yeah, it's just creating an app,
Okay.
pick an icon, and you're ready to go, basically.
So yeah, pretty much. If you haven't done it yet, it should be relatively easy to catch up. And then, shall we take a look?
Yeah.
What else can we do with low-code apps?
Yeah, first of all, let's start with the prerequisite where we have something on the catalog. We installed it last time, but for everybody that did that, I suggest to install it again because I've extended it with some more data, basically. Okay. So we can go to the catalog once again.
All right.
You can search for EPAM, which is IP address management.
Right. So EPAM GQI dummy data sources.
Yes, click that one and hit
Catalog
deploy. And then make sure that you install it on your system, which is Sebastian in my case, hit deploy. I've already done that, so I have my data available.
Perfect. Okay.
So if you've completed the previous kata, or if you want to do this one, hit the plus or continue on your previous app. So we hit the EPAM app and we should see a familiar setup.
Yes.
The infamous clock, and we have our data at the bottom.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, so let's try and add some more data to our app, shall we?
Edit it, I suppose.
Yes, indeed. So we go to the user icon, hit edit.
Under the user icon, edit, okay.
And now we can start editing our app. Previously we gave our side panel, our page name, which was overview, but we want to change that instead. Let's change this to IP addresses because we're viewing IPs, right?
Yes, so it's a table of IP addresses. Those were the satellites, right? If I remember correctly.
No, that's just device IP address.
Device IP address. Yeah.
So I can click in here, give it a name, but perhaps I want to give this a nice icon as well. And you see here in the gray side panel, we have an icon menu. We can expand that, and this lets us search for an icon. So I want something that resembles an IP address. I was going for a device, I think, because every device has an IP address.
Ah, cool. So you can search in that, find the right icon you want from a bunch of generic default ones that we have in there.
Indeed, I think 2,000 icons, sort of, so you should find most of the things.
I was going to say, can we upload a row? But if you've got 2,000 of them, then...
I think for most cases you'll find something. Uploading our own is only possible for the icon of the app itself.
Ah, yes.
There you can do that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we've given it a name, given it an icon. Let's publish. So I publish, but I don't have any sidebar. Why is that?
Yes, I don't know.
It's because we only have one page. And if you only have one page, it doesn't make a lot of sense to be able to navigate.
Okay.
You are always on that single page.
I was going to say just move your cursor to the left and it'll pop up.
No, we just don't show it because you have one page.
Okay. So we need to add another page.
We need to add another page. Before we do that, let's perhaps improve our current page because this clock, I have my Windows clock. I actually don't want this. Let's get rid of it. I'm sorry, Jan.
My clock?
Yeah. I suggest to perhaps, if you have some web skills, you can use an HTML component which lets you insert some custom HTML.
Oh, okay. So you can make your own component, just basic HTML.
Yeah, indeed. So I've prepared a small template in HTML, which looks nice on the eye. I'm not going to copy over it. I'll make sure that this is available in the tutorial as well, which will be put on docs so that you can just copy that. So I have my HTML.
People following along, if you go to docs, you should find that piece of HTML.
Yes, definitely.
Copy it over, save yourself some time and effort.
Indeed. So I have my HTML component. I go to the settings. I say I want to input some custom HTML. I'm going to hit or paste rather, and then I see my nice HTML popping up. It has
some headers, some colors.
So a gradient on there. It looks nice. Additionally, I want to change the layout so I don't have this white background. I'm going to change this to, let's say, transparent, because now it blends in, I think, a bit better. All right.
I haven't actually asked, but is there something like, because a lot of software has it, maybe this one also, like a dark theme or a white theme, or is that not a thing because you're selecting everything?
You can create a theme for an app.
Yes.
And we have a dark theme available. But this is embedded in the app. So we don't allow changing the theme as a user just yet, although we have received many requests for that.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, but you can manage it yourself in the app. It's a custom build app anyway.
Yes, so you could duplicate it and make a dark one if you want.
Easy enough to do. Yes. Okay.
So we have our header, we have our data, looks good. But we were actually creating that sidebar, right?
Yes,
so
I'd like
why did I first pimp my first page is because I want to show you something which is in the context menu of our side panel. We can actually hit duplicates. And now if I duplicate it, I basically get all of that good jazz from the first page onto my second page.
So duplication is also in there instead of creating a new one.
Indeed.
Good.
So
user-friendly.
Of course, I have IPs, but I also have subnets. I want to manage both. So this page is going to be about subnets. So I'll give this a name, subnets. And similarly, I want to give this an icon as well. I don't know, switch, perhaps, some icon I think works. That's all good.
Keeps thinking I'm gonna change the icon.
Yeah.
Every time he does an icon, what is he gonna want now?
Gonna fit my own.
This guy wanted the tower, but now he wants this. No. It's fine.
So now I want to, of course, change my header. So I go to that web component again, and instead of IP addresses, I'm going to say subnets.
Makes sense.
Subnets, and I think I have this really catchy title in here as well for my subtitle.
Streaming network, something.
Streaming network subnets for
seamless connectivity. Wow.
Yeah, I didn't make this up.
Sounds like something marketing would say.
It's ChatGPT, so that works. So going forward now, of course, our data is still our IP data. Let's also change this to our subnet. So if I go to the table component, I can click the button.
You're going to want to change your data data source or the filtering on it?
I'm going to change the data source, basically. So I'm going to remove the data of my table. I'm going to go to queries once again, and I see that my previous query is still called new query. So let's change that because it's a good idea to always name your query to something that it resembles.
So the original one, probably IP addresses or something like that.
Let's call this IP addresses. Okay, good. And let's create another one. Subnets. Now, same thing again with the ad hoc data source that we deployed from the catalog. We can now access that data. So let's go to ad hoc data. And now give me subnets.
Okay, so that's also part of the prerequisite package you installed, the artifact from the catalog.
Exactly.
Good.
So we drop that onto our table and we see our subnets emerging.
Okay. Yes. Subnet masks. And
now we have 2 pages each with their own data. Let's publish and see what that looks like.
We should have a sidebar.
We should.
Is this the moment where? Okay.
It's already there.
It's already there. That was disappointing for me, but very good that it's there.
I'm quite happy it's there. So now we have our 2 pages, and with this we can actually navigate. So the sidebar acts as a navigation bar for your app. So if I click on IPs, I go to the IP addresses. If I click on subnets, I go to the correct page.
Simple.
Simple.
Simple but nice. Very easy to do.
Yes, definitely. So let's add some more content.
Right.
Perhaps I, as a user, want to know, how many IPs do we have? How many different subnets do we have?
Some metrics.
Some metrics on all of our data.
Okay.
So, we have created pages in the past, but we have panels as well. So what are panels and what are pages? Pages are the top level structure in your app.
Okay.
Or always put on the sidebar. Panels actually acts as a pop-up. So you can't directly navigate to a panel, but you can directly navigate to a page. So that's like the main...
So the pages are in your menu and the panels would be a pop-up through a button.
Yes, exactly. All right, so if we want to create a panel, we can click the add sign over here, create a new panel, and we go to the same editor that we know. So let me collapse this. Give this a name, perhaps metrics.
Sure, metrics, I suppose. Good name as in.
Metrics. And let us create a metric. First of all, let's start perhaps with the query. So let's create a new one. Once again, let's say subnet count.
So this one is not going to be with an ad hoc data source, but...
It's going to grab data from the ad hoc data source, but we are going to aggregate it using the GQI engine.
Okay, so you need to still start from the ad hoc data source?
Yes.
So you cannot just take the table that we created in the...
It's the same data. It basically boils down to the same point.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So through the ad hoc data source again.
Yes, exactly. So let's go to our subnets and now let's aggregate this.
Right.
And on which column do we want to aggregate? Let's just take the network address and then do a count.
So a simple count, how many addresses are in that table?
Yes, exactly. So we drag that on here. We can pick a visual. Let's take this one, and our subnet count is 1067.
All right.
Okay, this is a rather small UI of our state component. So in the layouts tab, we can actually change this to a large style. And we want to align this in the center, perhaps. Let's reposition it a bit.
Okay, so it also has all the abilities to align and stuff like that. Okay.
Indeed.
Interesting. Good.
All right. Okay, let's publish.
So now there's a pop-up bar, but when do I pop it up? Like
exactly. So I have my pages.
Am I running in front of you?
A bit, but
rushing ahead of you.
That was the question I was going for. So we have our pages.
Yeah.
But where is my panel?
Where is the panel?
I want to show the panel at some point. So we can actually do this if we edit it again. By, for instance, or let me do it on the IP page. Let us add a button.
Okay.
And this button over here has a setting that says on click, what do I need to do? Simple enough.
From reselect.
Yes, exactly. So on the right hand side, you have configured the actions. And this brings up the action editor. So the default is don't do anything, but we want to change this to open a panel. And if we open a panel, it's going to say, what panel do I need to open? But we only have one, so it auto-selects it. If you have multiple panels,
you get a drop-down.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then where do I need to show it? So you can say, I want it in a pop-up, which will be in the center of your screen.
Okay.
I want to have it on the left or on the right. I currently prefer it on the right. And then it says, why do I need to make this? And this is a percentage of your screen, perhaps like...
okay, so that's the size of...
That's the size of it.
Okay.
And then you have an as overlay. I'm going to leave this enabled just to show you what it does.
I was going to ask, what does it do? But
so
we're going to see.
We publish and we have our button over here. And if we click it, our panel is opening from the right-hand side.
An overlay is transparent.
An overlay makes sure that if you click the area next to the panel, it's going to close it again. So we don't need to add any close handlers to it. So for now, click this, it is removed.
Good. Okay.
Now this button, to me, it's a bit big.
I mean, I'm not a UI developer, but even I can tell that that wouldn't pass the mark.
Indeed. So we have another capability that allows you to add more navigational UIs and more actions, basically. And that is a header bar. So let me show you how you can enable a header bar on your...
Right, so we've had the sidebar, we've had the pop-up.
Yes.
Now we're getting a look at the header bar.
Header bar.
The story continues. It's
Indeed.
like an adventure. I love it.
It's like an adventure.
So we're heading into the header bar.
Yes. So on every page, you actually have a header bar toggle button. And if you enable that, you'll see that a header bar has appeared on the top of our page.
I see some pluses there, so I can already imagine.
Indeed, indeed. And the UI is also guiding you. Let's create a button first. So you can say on the left or on the right.
Ah, nice. We've got that in-app tutorial style again.
Exactly. So I want it on the right-hand side, perhaps. Let's give this a name, statistics, because our panel is also called statistics.
Very well, yeah.
Easy for us. So I want to show some statistics. And when we select a button in the header bar, we see that under the header bar, we actually get some configuration options for our button.
Yes.
So we can configure an icon for it. By default, that's a circle, but yeah. Statistics, nice, like dashboards or something.
Sure. Have a look for dashboard. Maybe we... I like the second one more.
Second one, sure.
Just kidding. I just want them to pick something else.
That's fine.
The entire... You will have to rewrite docs now.
Yeah, my plan is ruined.
Plan is ruined.
Okay.
Great.
Let's publish. Perhaps remove the button as well.
Yeah, because you've put it in the header bar.
So I publish. I click. What will happen?
If you left click, maybe.
Yeah.
So if you left click, I'm gonna guess it's gonna pop up from the right and be.
Let's have a look. I click.
Ooh, and nothing happens.
Nothing. Why would that be? Do you have any idea? It's a test.
It's a test. Well,
you can earn some DevOps points.
Oh no! Now I'm put on the spot. Okay, well, can you open the header bar options, maybe? Let's see what happens there. So I'm guessing the event isn't on there. On click, nothing. Yeah. Okay. So we need to do the on click.
Yes. So now we need to do the same thing as we did with the button, but now for our header bar button, basically.
Right.
So we say...
You've caught me, eh? You've caught me. You were so quick, I didn't notice.
Open a panel. So we do the same thing again. Let's, for instance, take 70.
Okay.
And if we now publish...
You were too quick again, eh? I'm not sure if I saw you do it, but I'm gonna trust you now, eh? Left click.
Left click, and there we go. Oh, it's not on the right. Perhaps let's click now.
You probably... just set it as pop-up?
Yeah. Yes, I did. I was too quick.
You were too quick, see?
Okay, so if we now click that, we see that it's open from the right-hand side.
So that's why it's an easy way to indeed show some metrics or things you only want to have a quick glance at and then remove it again.
Exactly.
The header bar, pretty good to not have massive buttons on your screen.
Indeed.
Which is good for debugging.
And also to just add more, in capabilities of your app.
Right.
That's a good place to put them, basically.
That's nice.
Okay, so I have my pop-up, but I like to have a close button as well. So why don't we add that to our pop-up just to make sure that we have two ways to close a panel.
A little X in the corner or something.
Yes, exactly. So if we go to our panel and edit our metrics panel, we can actually enable a header bar here as well. So if we say, sure, enable this, and we have our familiar add signs here. And on the top right-hand side, let's add a header bar button. I'm not going to give this a label because I just want to have an X in there.
Yeah, just the icon of a close. So I guess exit or close.
Let's try close.
There we go.
Looks like good enough fit. If I publish this, Jan, what will happen?
Nothing.
Nothing, exactly. Good.
You're not getting me twice, man. You're not getting me twice.
So we have another capability when you click the button that says
close a window.
Close a panel. And by default, it's going to suggest the current panel that you are in.
Right. So you could really screw with people and make it close other panels.
Yes, you can do all sorts
I mean,
of
why
stuff.
would you do that? Okay, good.
Okay, let's publish this. And now I have my statistics, and now I have my close button there.
Which would close the panel.
Indeed. And that sums up the exercise for today. It's creating some pages
Pretty good, yeah.
Creating
Side
a panel and the header bar, and make sure that it opens when clicked, and you have that header bar in the panel as well.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a lot of interactivity added in a relatively short time.
Indeed.
And again, it's called low code, but this is pretty much no code.
Indeed.
Just the little HTML part, but even that is an optional addition.
Right. Yes.
I love it. It's awesome.
To send this to us, there are two options. You can create some screenshots, you can create a screen recording, or you could even send us the source files as well.
Right.
Perhaps a small FYI on how to give us the source files, because that's also very easy. Then we can plug in the app, play with it ourselves, give you some tips and tricks. So if we go to...
So all of that has in the background...
It's a folder structure on the data miner agent.
Okay, let's have a quick look then as well.
Okay.
But for everyone watching, feel free to either do what we're about to do now and have a look at the source files and send those in. But I'm guessing just a screenshot is also fine. If you can see the side panel, maybe that's great. Send that in. You can watch in the description of the video how you can upload this or how you can send that in.
Yeah.
So just source files?
Source files. So we see in our URL that we have actually a GUID in there.
All right.
So that starts with 7762.
So unique identifier.
Yes, exactly. And we see that we have that folder in here as well. So you can just copy that, zip it.
Right. So you need to go, you need to RDP if you aren't on the server of the data miner, go to the file system. And then in that location here, Skyline data miner application,
yes,
you'll find the ID, and in there, pretty much the source files that you have configured.
Yes, that's right.
Without having to write them, which is the point. It's awesome. I love it.
All right.
All right. Well, I guess that is it for this kata.
That's it for today.
So thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for showing us
My
this.
pleasure.
And we'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye.